What's up, Fight Fam? And welcome to Boxing Bros. I'm here, one of the co-hosts, Kaden, and we got Ned, the cameraman, in the building.
What up, world?
Hey, Trill, what episode is this?
This is the 11th episode of Boxing Bros.
This is episode 11. I'm gonna let my co-hosts introduce themselves. I'm gonna start. Oh, we have a special guest here. You know what I'm saying? My man, ComplexGentlemen.
What's good? I'm the boxing cousin.
That's right. Boxing Bros. I'll let everybody introduce themselves formally, so all right?
It was good. Everybody is G.
Trail.
And I'm the complex gentleman.
All right. The first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is who won the rematch wars. Was it Team Ruiz or Team Joshua? I'm going to start this one off with none other than G.
Come on, yo. Ruiz blesses. I say he won. I actually won war. I say he definitely won this battle. You know what I'm saying? And so the reason why I say this is because, yo, clearly he got the pay increase that everyone thought he wasn't going to get. You know what I'm saying? He got the rights to show it in Mexico, which that could possibly generate $3 to another $5 million for Ruiz. So that's a good look. He got them to do the testing in Saudi Arabia, and he got the judges, or at least he got judges with at least 40 fights experience, and a ref that has the same amount of experience. So all of that plays into Ruiz's favor. So, you know, he definitely won, especially, and this is where my conspiracy hat is gonna come in. Look at him. I honestly believe AJ was trying to go to Saudi Arabia to juice up and violate Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? And so, because of that, Ruiz was like, nah, we ain't going to no Saudi Arabia. I don't think it had anything to do with human rights, anything. It was more AJ looking like he's dirty. You know what I'm saying? AJ looking like he's dirty. Ruiz got shook, was like, yo, I don't like how AJ moving. So, he held off on the second fight. And he got all the things that he was looking for, so Ruiz definitely at least won this contract battle.
Trill.
What's going on, everybody? Alright, neither. Is that your final answer? Like, is there more? Can you elaborate? Neither. My choice wasn't up there. I say choice C.
And who's that?
Team Eddie Hearn.
Alright.
Team Eddie Hearn won.
Facts.
That's what I think. Mm-hmm.
Complex Gentlemen making his debut to the Boxing Bros. Who won the negotiation?
I say both sides. Really, Ruiz won. Ruiz got a little bit more, but I say AJ and Eddie Hearn won as well.
No.
For this reason, hold on, let me say.
Don't put them together.
Hold on.
Don't put them together.
Trill's rules, you can't pick two sides.
Team AJ.
You gotta keep the promoter separate from the fighter.
In that case, Ruiz won. This is the reason why. When you're the lesser named fighter, you're the B side, etc., it takes a lot to try and stand your ground in negotiations. They were going to jerk him, obviously, right? Like, they made him sign the rematch before even the first fight happened. There was a fixed amount. They were going to move the fight to some country he's never been in, all this extra stuff. And Ruiz said no, and he stood his ground and he won at the end of the day. He played chicken with them, and they turned first. For this reason, I mean, he's got the Mexican TV rights, which is huge. He's blowing up in Mexico right now. I mean, he's going to make sure that the fight is fair. He's got the referees, the judges, all that stuff, and he's getting more money, which at the end of the day, all this was about was more money, right? The whole whatever human rights, true, that is a lot of that is true, but at the end of the day, they're fighting for money. He's getting more money, and that's what that's what he wanted at the end of the day. So really, for Ruiz, shit's all gravy. My man already beat AJ. He's already the first Mexican-American heavyweight champion. Really, it's not really much for him to lose right now. Even if he never wins again, he's still going down in history. So, I mean, for him to stand his ground, get the things that he asked for, get more money against the bigger money team is a win for him. The reason why I say AJ wins as well is because they're getting the bag. They're going to Saudi Arabia and getting mad money to show up, right? Saudi Arabia obviously is trying to change their image. They're bringing in events, supporting events, things like that, so that they seem like a more palatable place to visit and whatnot, and they want to change their image of like just enclosed country, and especially they've had a lot of bad news headlines. So it's like, look, they're gonna break bread to bring these kind of events over. So AJ's getting paid, Eddie Hearn's getting paid, and if this goes well, they're probably gonna open up the market for more money. I mean, these guys got endless amounts of money. So it's kind of a win for both sides. I'm glad that Ruiz stood his ground to get more money, because like, you're not gonna have a fight for $100 million fight and then tell me I'm getting $9 million, and I'm supposed to sit back and be like, okay, cool, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I want my piece of the pie too. So it's good that he stood his ground. He's getting his money. So there's the fight and there's the fight before the fight. The psychological games. Ruiz showed he's not gonna get pushed around. Ruiz won in this battle.
Why I said that Eddie Hearn is separate from AJ and Andy is because AJ, he wanted to fight in the UK, and he already know what he's making. Andy didn't want to fight in the UK. Andy didn't want to fight in Saudi Arabia. Andy knew what he was getting. That 9 is still there, but I'm gonna let Kaden slam dunk on you. When I was saying about Eddie Hearn is the winner, Eddie Hearn is the real winner, because he's getting the real bag.
Right.
AJ already was set what he's getting.
Right.
Andy's already set with. Nobody is coming home with more than Eddie Hearn.
Right. Yeah.
So Eddie Hearn won the whole time. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't want you to say because Eddie and AJ are together. Nah. AJ's the worker. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. The promoter takes like the bulk of the
You know what I'm
money.
saying? AJ is the worker. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said he's not. It's between Andy and AJ, and Eddie won. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we phrased it Team AJ.
Yeah, team. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's why.
That's fair.
Right.
So the winner is obviously Team Anthony Joshua. So what I want you to do, everybody listening, is don't get caught up in the sidetrack. See, that's what all this stuff is designed to do, to keep you, to distract you from the real issue. The real issue was Andy Ruiz posting a video on or around August 14th saying that the fight was going to take place in the United States of America. He was not going to go to Saudi Arabia. The fight was going to be on his terms. That's what he said. People sat here and said Al Heyman was going to get him out of that contract and said he wasn't going to have to fight in Saudi Arabia. People said that he was going to have to fight in the UK. This whole money issue was just a side play. Go back to Boxing Bros episode, Ruiz is avoiding the Joshua rematch. Go to the 17-minute mark where I explained to G, we don't care if he gets more money. Our point is honor your contract. If they give him more money, that's between the teams. We pointed that out already. We said we don't care about that. They're not obligated to. If they give it to him, good. And then I state my personal opinion is they won't. But they did, according to some sources. However, Eddie Hearn hasn't come out and said they've given him more money. What we do know is he got the rights to the fight in Mexico, which could lead to more money. That could be the only thing they've given him. And once again, we don't know if Andy Ruiz negotiated that. That could have been what Hearn was offering from the jump. But what we do know is Ruiz isn't 100% happy with his deal. Read the fine print on ESPN. It said he's happier, not happy, not satisfied. Remember, Ruiz is on record saying he wanted $50 million to fight in the UK. He's on record saying that this fight was coming to the US. It was going to be on his terms. And if the US is going to let them make him go to Saudi Arabia, and then he set up, right? But my position was and has always been the fight was going to take place in Saudi Arabia. Every episode we had, the conclusion, the main discussion, the main topic was, will Ruiz have to go to Saudi Arabia? Can they get him out of fight in Saudi Arabia? Not will he get a pay increase, right? And I always said nothing was going to get him out of that contract, and nothing did. And here's another point I want you to look up. You can look up Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing, filing a lawsuit against Andy Ruiz on August 23rd. And on that same day, Andy Ruiz makes the official announcement that he's going to fight in Saudi Arabia. That's how you know he lost. As soon as Eddie Hearn went to the Southern District of the New York State courts, U.S. District Courts, and filed an injunction and damages against Al Heyman and Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz announced that he was officially going to sign and accept the fight. That's proof that all this Al Heyman's going to get him out of the contract stuff was baloney. That's proof that he had no loophole.
Yeah.
As soon as I let everyone flow uninterrupted.
Go.
Death by 1,000 cuts don't need to be interrupted. Okay? As soon as the injunction and the damages were filed in an actual courtroom, if they really believed this Human Rights Violation Act was going to work, argument was going to work, how come they didn't just say, we're still going to hold out? He's not happy. He's not getting the $50 million he wanted. Eddie Hearn won. AJ won. Why? The fight's taking place in Saudi Arabia. It's not taking place in the U.S. Andy Ruiz is not making $50 million. We all know that. Andy Ruiz is going to get more money. We don't know how, though. Everything else they're saying is pure speculation.
You know how, because I said it on that same episode you was talking about. What did I say? They're going to get paid on the back end.
And what did I say? We only discuss facts and stats, not backdoor deals on oil fields. We all knew it could be a possibility that they would hit him off with more bread. Our point was he was going to have to honor that contract. He wasn't going to get out of fighting out of Saudi Arabia. Listen to everything we said, not what he said. Conspiracy G makes little conspiracy G so he could say he was right about his conspiracies and not wrong about the overall conclusion. But the overall conclusion, he fighting in Saudi Arabia like you said.
So,
Thank you.
again, if you reference back to that same episode, I was like, they're going to cut him off more bread to fight in Saudi Arabia.
It was all about the money.
Thank you.
The bottom line
Which
is
I was arguing the whole time. And I was
That's
just
it.
like, yo,
That's
they're
just
not going to throw
gamesmanship.
away. Like, think
All
about
that
it. They're going to give it to him, which they did, bro. And they're saying it's rumored that he's getting an increase of 3 million euros. You know what I'm saying?
Rumor. Can you hear what you said?
I agree.
Yo,
but we don't know. We don't say
this
the
on
contract.
innuendo.
But
Go to
yeah.
that episode 17. 17 minutes into Ruiz is avoiding the Joshua rematch. When I state to him, we don't care about the money. Our point isn't about the money. If they give him more money, that's between them. Our point was simply Ruiz is going to have to fight in Saudi Arabia. He made it issue about the word.
That's it. They're going to get him to Saudi Arabia. They're going to get him to Saudi Arabia for more money. That's the whole point.
Thank you. That was
No. And my proof, and the proof is in the pudding. You can look this up yourself. You don't gotta listen to me. Look this up. When Eddie Hearn filed in the New York U.S. District Court a lawsuit against Andy Ruiz and against PBC, right? That's when Andy Ruiz announced the fight. So don't be fooled by this, he's giving money. And Andy had to save face. Andy had to save face because he put those videos out saying the fight was going to be in the U.S., but of course we all know where the fight's going to take place.
Listen,
But hold on. Just because the lawsuit got filed doesn't mean Ruiz and Al Heyman agreed because of that lawsuit being filed.
Why didn't he announce it the same day?
They could have already been in the process of agreeing. Exactly.
Yo, you
Just
gotta use your brain. You gotta use logic on this.
Oh my goodness.
So on the same day that the lawsuit is filed, right? Ruiz announces that he's going to go take the fight because they were already in negotiations. When you're already in negotiations, Eddie Hearn would have never filed a
The
lawsuit.
lawyers are already in the process.
Thank
It
you.
takes
That's
time.
what it is.
Well, I want you to ask you a question. I just want to ask you a question. Were you sitting in the legal room?
No, you
Were
weren't
you
either.
sitting in the legal
You
room?
weren't either.
Okay, so my point isn't that I was sitting in the legal room. But my point is what makes the most logical sense. That you know Ruiz is going to agree to the fight in Saudi Arabia, but you still waste money because filing a lawsuit isn't free, people. It costs money, but you still waste money to file a lawsuit for something you know is going to be signed. And then why would Ruiz wait until the lawsuit is filed before he announces the fight?
Because he was waiting for
Yeah,
them to
come
sue
on,
him.
bro. You gotta believe that crap.
Because they were waiting for
Like I
the
said,
increases, which he got.
Listen, I just said it from the jump that I ain't never seen somebody get out of a contract. I said that.
That's
they
why
don't have to honor the contract. That's what I
It was never about
got.
getting, guys, I think what you got wrong is they think he was going to get out of the contract.
Thank
It was
you.
never about getting
Nobody
out
made
of
that
the
argument.
contract.
Yo, you did.
Hold on.
No, I didn't.
Hold on.
No, I actually
Go to
did
those
not.
same episodes. We got two episodes where
We're
G
about the episode, then yes.
where G predicts that the fight's going to be in the UK because he says that they're not going to allow the fight to take place in Saudi Arabia.
This is what I'm saying though.
Okay, go
the
ahead.
fight was still going to happen. No,
Now I see why you want people to pick one side. Now I see why you want people
This
to
is
pick
what
one
I
side.
actually said. he's not going against his contract. He agreed to fight AJ in the rematch. Now, the stipulation was what location? The argument was he's not feeling safe in Saudi Arabia. He's not saying he doesn't want to fight in the rematch. He's saying Saudi Arabia is not an ideal location for him and his team. That was the whole argument.
No, but
he never said, yo, I'm not going to fight in a rematch.
I'm talking about Ruiz's argument. I'm talking about your argument.
That was my argument.
The UK.
I was like, yo, this is what I said. I was like, yo, he doesn't want to do Saudi Arabia, so it's looking like, hey, he might want to flip-flop and go back to
No,
the
you
UK.
said
That's what I said.
No, you said you're confident the fight's going to take place in the UK.
No, what I said was, I'm
we got it on
confident.
tape, and I'm so glad we do this on camera now. Review the tape.
You know
But
what's
guess
funny,
what?
right? You
Guess
know what's
what?
funny? I just watched the episode, and then this is
Okay.
what I did say. I was like, I guarantee they're gonna pay him more money. You said,
No,
no, they are not.
Hold on.
That's what you said.
Hold on. So hold on. Just stop for a second. You didn't predict the fight was going to be in UK, bro?
This is what I said.
Oh, this is what I said.
Nah. I was like, yo.
That's no question. I didn't ask you.
Yo, but that wasn't even the debate about the
Yes, it
episode.
was. Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't,
Every episode, tell me.
No, it wasn't. Yo, you're bugging. I was not here, dog.
Tell me the one episode where we argued would Ruiz get more money. Did we ever argue that? Was that ever a topic? No.
The topic was
topic
Saudi
was
Arabia.
always, would he be able to get out of the contract to fight in Saudi Arabia, bro?
Yeah.
That was the topic. So you talking about this money's relevant. You predicted the fight would be in the UK. My position was and always is he was never going to be able to get out of the contract to fight in Saudi Arabia.
He wasn't going to get paid.
I also said, I admit that I said that.
All
But
right,
I also, go to 17 minutes. This is why I love doing this on camera. Go to 17 minutes of Ruiz is avoiding Anthony Joshua and hear me say that's an irrelevant issue. Whether he gets more money is between them and the promoters. We don't really care about that. They're not obligated to give him more money. And I said I personally don't think they will give him more money. Yes, but I said the real issue is he's not going to be able to get out of the contract to fight in Saudi Arabia. The overall discussion was about him fighting in Saudi Arabia. But when you lose the overall discussion, you got to take pride in something that's irrelevant.
Basically, what these two gentlemen are trying to say, that I was the only one that was right on that. And I said the fight will take place in Saudi Arabia, and they was going to give us some money on the back end.
Well, I think y'all missing was that Ruiz could have gotten out of the contract. This is what I think.
No,
Hold on, right?
Oh my God.
So Ruiz, hold on.
This is ridiculous.
ridiculous, and they gave him all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Hold on. At the end of the day, Ruiz wanted more money, right? He wants the AJ fight. Hold on, doesn't matter.
No, you don't know. Exactly. You don't know. So how do you know there's more money? How do you know?
You guys are missing the point.
You said
He was going to be in the rematch, right? He wanted more money. To leverage himself to get more money, he was going to delay the fight if he says, I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. That was his argument. He doesn't care about going to Saudi Arabia. He has an argument to make that say, I'm going to blow up this fight if y'all don't give me more money.
Okay, cool.
You know what I'm going to do? We can go to court. Because, yeah, you
Okay, cool.
Let's
Okay,
take
cool.
6 months, a year in court.
Okay, cool. I have a question for you.
So you leveraged it to get more money.
I just have a question for you. And then coincidentally, he announces the fight the day that the lawsuit is filed. Right? That's just a coincidence too, right? Because he, everything I said, I own that. All right, go.
Wait. And coincident, it's not like they were like, look, this is what it is, done. If you're not, we're gonna take it to court. He got the TV rights, he got the judges.
How do you know that wasn't already on the table? Eddie Hearn already said. He has some questions. If you look at the very first interview after the first press conference that Eddie Hearn announced the fight, he said he has some questions that are of legitimate concern. We're going to take care of that. And we're going to make him happy and we're going to make him feel respected as a champion. How do you know that wasn't already on the table? And once Eddie Hearn filed the lawsuit, okay, now let me just ask you a question. Did you see a video from Andy Ruiz on August 14th saying that the fight was going to take place in the United States of America, he was going to call all the shots, and he wasn't going to Saudi Arabia? Did you see that video?
Yes, I did.
Okay, now when we had our arguments, were you on the set? When you were on the set for episode 10?
Episode 10?
Yes.
Yes, I was.
What was the argument about?
the argument was about Andy Ruiz getting a pay increase. I remember that was.
It wasn't
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Andy
yeah.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Hold on.
I appreciate
You
it.
guys were G made
Yes,
the
it
point
was.
to pay increase. You guys were like, he has to honor the contract. That was the argument.
Bingo, thank you.
That was-
Because I was like, yo, I'm not going to say. Remember that was the pot. Remember, and then these guys, he was in, and it was like, I would, you ever got that million? You ever got that million? I would take that million. I was like, yo, bro, there's a pot of 100 million. Why would you only take that million?
So the beauty of this is, everybody go back to Ruiz is avoiding Anthony Joshua, and then go back to Ruiz is still refusing to go to Saudi Arabia. Just look at the title. Ruiz is still avoiding to go to Saudi Arabia. Not would Ruiz get a pay increase. But once you watch it, you'll see everything you need to know.
I still don't see the contradiction of what you're
First
saying.
of all, like, all right, cool, I get it. With number, he's still getting the 9 million.
No, even if you look at ESPN, it doesn't say the amount. But even ESPN report that he got a pay increase on top of the 9 million. It literally says that.
I heard he gets $1 million extra.
We're doing a lot of talking over each other, so we're gonna give everybody the floor at one time. So Trill got it right now.
This is what I'm saying. We don't know how much he's getting. Until they say it, we don't know. All I'm saying is this. Like I said, the fight is going to take place in Saudi Arabia. And he's going to get some money on the back end. I always say it. You know what I'm saying?
Trill's right.
This is what happened.
All right. Trill, you got that. You got that. You got that.
You go ahead, close. You're close.
I mean, I think this is the point that Andy Ruiz had signed for a $9 million pay in the rematch. That was the initial contract, right? Location, all that stuff was to be determined. When it found out that the fight was going to be in Saudi Arabia, right? Because Eddie Hearn said this too. He didn't want the fight to be in the UK. They were like, Saudi Arabia, okay, cool. But if I'm going to Saudi Arabia, if I'm going to this place, it's mad different, all this stuff, and they're paying this much money, I need to get broken off a little bit more. That was the whole point. So all this stuff about the fight's gonna happen in America, I'm not going, he's standing his ground, it's called gamesmanship. It's called negotiating.
Thank you.
He was bluffing to get more money. At the end of the day, he was gonna fight, right? He doesn't want to turn down, you're right, he doesn't want to turn down 9 million, but he's gotta stand his ground at some point to show like, yo, I'm gonna threaten to blow the fight. Because if he didn't go, legally what would happen is he'd get sued, they'd go to court, it would take 6 months to a year at best. Andy Ruiz wouldn't fight, but also AJ wouldn't have a big fight. They need Ruiz to be a part of this
And
fight.
AJ would have lost all the belts.
All that money,
They
the
would have
sanctioned bodies
all,
would have
all the belts
take
back.
the belts, whatever, they would have blown up everything. So at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn's team had to come back to the team and be like, look, what can we do? Like, we're gonna do this fight, but what do we give? Okay, we'll give you Mexico TV rights. Cool. All right. You only have to be in the country for 2 weeks. All right. Cool. Boxing judges, referees, all that stuff. We're gonna give that to you.
The commission of bring U.S. commissioners to consultate and Saudi Arabia, drug testing, all of that. He's
He
winning.
gets a fair fight. He gets more money, and he's gonna get the big fight anyway. So that was the whole point. Like at the end of the day, he was gonna do the rematch, but he had to do something. He can't just be like, I want more money, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Like he has to be like, no, well, fuck it, let's go to court.
You gotta flex.
I'm gonna throw us all off the cliff and let's see what happens. You know what I mean? It's like the dude, you guys are running from the cops, like, give me the wheel. It's like, yo, we're trying to get away from the cops, but look, I want the wheel right now. Well, if you know I'm gonna throw us off the court, we're all gonna get caught. Well, they get us over.
I'm sorry. I was rocking with you until that. Nah, yo, for the most part, I agree with pretty much everything Complex and Trill is saying. Yeah, because the argument never really was like, yo, Saudi Arabia, UK, US. It was more, hey, if you're gonna go to Saudi Arabia, you gotta pay me to go to Saudi Arabia. That was my entire argument, because I was like, it's not fair for him to just go all the way to Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? And so Eddie, I'll just keep it at Eddie Hearn, so Eddie Hearn could fatten up his pockets. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, and then remember, I even fell back from the legal argument because I was making more of like a ethical argument, like it was just not fair. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, hey, you know what? Like, on top of the whole thing about like Saudi Arabia and the venue not being established, yo, the fact that if there's no drug testing, yo, I don't blame him for he's like, yo, I'm not safe over there. For all we know, AJ could be shooting up, you know what I'm saying, popping all types of stuff just to knock him out in Saudi Arabia, you know what I'm saying? And then he loses everything he just gained. So I'm like, hey, all the things that he fought for, we could downplay it and be like, yo, this is minuscule, it's whatever. Yo, these are great advantages that he just pulled off. So to me, Ruiz won.
Yeah, I just think the bag top. Eddie won.
Yeah, so I'll say this. If you ask everyone how much money Ruiz is getting or how much more is he getting, no one can answer that question. It's pure speculation. It's something no one knows the answer to, right? But yet they're willing to just hop on and say, he's getting more money, yeah. No one can tell you how much more he's getting, right? You don't know if he's actually getting more money or if they're saying he's getting more money due to the fact that he now owns the rights to the fights in Mexico. So once again, we have all this speculation with no real answers. But what I will say is this. What we do know is Andy Ruiz immediately after winning the rematch said, if they want me to fight in the UK, they got to give me $50 million. What we now know is he signed a contract for 2 fights and he was obligated to fight Anthony Joshua in the rematch. And that contract had a stipulation that said they can pick the location. They picked Saudi Arabia. When they picked Saudi Arabia, Andy Ruiz made a video saying that it was going to be on his terms. He's the king. He's the cash cow to come to America. It's easy to claim it was negotiations, right? But he really believed it. And you know that because they invest legal dollars behind it. Yeah, he's getting like 2 or 3 million more. How much did he spend on a legal team trying to find a loophole to get out of the contract to fight in Saudi Arabia, right? And yeah, he still has to fight Saudi Arabia. All the money he's getting probably just recouping his legal fees. But once again, you know what I'm saying? People can act like he won. What I'll tell you is this. Andy Ruiz and his team said that he was going to bring the fight to America, said he wasn't going to fight in Saudi Arabia, said that they had all these reasons to get out of the fight. When it's all said and done, he's fighting in Saudi Arabia. And you can make it a coincidence, but when a lawsuit was filed, an injunction, and a request for damages by Eddie Hearn against Andy Ruiz and his team, he announced the fight later that day. So you can make it a coincidence, but let's be real. What type of coincidence is that? Oh, in addition to that, Andy Ruiz took down all of the other posts he had prior stating that he wasn't going to have the fight and that he was the cash cow. All that stuff, he took it down off his accounts. Someone wrote in his comment section saying, what happened to the fight coming to the United States of America? What happened to you calling the shots? Andy Ruiz responded, there's levels to this. And he's right, there's levels to this. You signed the contract. Notice I said nothing when they spoke. That's how you know what's up. So when you sign the contract, you must abide by the contract. And that's that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for watching Boxing Bros and tune in. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Tell us how you feel. Don't be too negative though. Please check us out on social media.
Let's talk complex.